Hello! What's up, guys? It's me, your friend, Tanner Babcock here. You might have noticed something's new, something's different. I got a new webcam for Christmas, and I got this cool color-changing light back here, so this is the new Tanner Babcock Channel 2.0, where we start to get fancy and I start to look a little more professional, but some things are new and different and some things are the same. Like right now, I'm going to show off my GitHub sponsors profile. That's right. If there's anyone out there at all who would want to sponsor me on GitHub, it's right here. You could choose to give me a custom amount, a one-time payment, or you could choose to give me a monthly subscription. You could choose to give me $4 a month, you could choose to give me $20 a month, or you could choose to give me $100 a month. I would really appreciate it because I need some money. And if you sponsored me on GitHub, I would definitely work on anything you wanted me to work on. I would be happy to help. I have lots of knowledge, lots of intelligence, and I'm really capable with web technologies and Rust and C++. So yeah, I would really appreciate it if there was anyone out there at all who would like to sponsor me on GitHub. Yeah. But anyway, let's get to the video. Now, a few months ago, I made a video called Absolute Beginner's Guide to the Linux Terminal. And the video's about 45 minutes, but I didn't really cover as much as I had wanted to cover in that beginner's tutorial. So that's why I'm making this video, the Absolute Beginner's Guide to the Linux Terminal, Part 2. So I'm going to cover a lot of stuff that I didn't cover in my first video. If you are a complete beginner to the Linux terminal, which could also be the Mac OS terminal, or it could be a BSD terminal, or you could just type these commands on your Android phone. So if you would like to learn, if you don't already know the basics of the terminal, you should go ahead and check out part 1 of this series, the original Absolute Beginner's Guide to the Linux Terminal. So let's get started. What are some commands we ran in that first video? I think I showed the ls command, I showed the cd command, I think I showed the touch command, cd video touch. That's how you create a new file on a Linux file system. You can just touch it. And then you type ls and there's a file.txt. I'm going to show something that DistroTube actually showed in one of his recent videos. This command called timecat, which just is like a stopwatch, and it just runs this cat command. So this cat command has no standard input, it has no files to read, so it's just waiting. And I'm going to teach you all how to work with processes on Linux. So this cat command is a process that's right now, it's hanging. It's not really doing anything, but it's running on your system. It's taking up resources on your system. So what can we do about that? Some Linux systems, if you want to kill a process, you could actually type the command kill all and then the name of the process that you want to kill, the process that's hanging. So we are just going to kill this cat process right here. I'm going to type kill all cat. And on my Linux system, see, I don't have that command. A lot of Linux systems out there, and I think Mac OS has this command too, will have this kill all command. And what that does is it kills the process with the given name. I don't have that command, but another way to do that is you could type pkill, process kill, with a -x option, and then you type the name of the process. So I'm going to type cat right here, and I'm going to press enter. And as you can see, the name of the process that was hanging in this terminal was called cat. We were timing the cat command. I sent this this kill signal to this cat command, and that command's over now. And it prints out, that's what the time command does, is it just times a command, and then it tells you how long it took, how much time was spent on that process. So if you run time cat, it's just essentially a stopwatch. But yeah, let's try that again. Let's try another time cat, and I think I showed this program at the end of the first Absolute Beginner's Guide top. It's not showing us the names of the processes right now, but I want to get the process ID, also known as the PID, of this this cat command that's running in this terminal right here. So how do I do that? I'm just going to type pgrep, which is like the grep command, except it searches the list of currently running processes. I'm going to type pgrep cat, and it looks like there's 2 cat commands running. Those are the PIDs of them. One of them has the PID 8120, and the other one has the PID 13406. So I'm pretty sure it's the newer command, but you can kill a hanging process like this. You can just type kill. The command pkill -x can take the process name, but the command kill, just KILL like that, only takes a PID. So I'm going to give it 13406. And I'm going to press enter. And as you can see, that cat process running in this terminal over here has been terminated. So remember these commands. Remember pkill or pkillx if you want to kill a process by its name. If you know the name but you don't know the PID, you can type pgrep, or like pgrep pulse audio will tell me the PID of my pulse audio daemon. Pgrep OBS will tell me the PID of OBS that's running right now. Pgrep sway. Oh, looks like there's 3 different sway processes. I don't know. That's not good. I might have to kill one of those. I'm not going to try that right now. But yeah, I think I showed the grep command in the first video, but in case I didn't, I will show that command again. So now this is just a vanilla generic bash shell that I am working in right now. Bash is the default shell, a widely adopted choice for the default shell in lots of Unix and Linux systems, as well as Mac OS. So that's why I'm using it. There's no customizations, there's no aliases, so that should tell you that everything that I type into my bash shell will also work for you when you type it into your bash shell. But yeah, let's look at this grep command. Let's type ls, and I'll look at all of the files in my home directory. Now, this really doesn't show me all of the files. If you want to actually see all of the files, you would type ls-la. Now, let's look at one of these files. We could cat my zshrc, which is my configuration for my Z shell. So I'll type that, and what that does is it just echoes the entire file. If you type cat and then the name of a file, it will just print the contents of that file. So here's my zshrc right here. But let's say I wanted to look up, I forgot all of my aliases that I had set for the git command. Now, if I want to look up exactly what command is set to what, I could cat zshrc, note the period, the dot zshrc, and I'm going to type a pipe. And what this pipe does is it tells the shell to redirect the output of one program into the input of another program, the standard output to the standard input, to be specific. So I'm going to cat this file, and then I'm going to type this pipe symbol, and then I'm going to type grep. And the string that I'm going to grep is a git. So any lines in my zshrc that have the string git, grep is going to print those lines. So these are all of my aliases that I have for my different git commands. So that when I work with git repositories, I don't have to strain my fingers. I just set these aliases. And I can just type gc for git checkout, or a ga for git add. But that's what the grep command does. What about another file? If you want to look at the files in a given directory that's not your current directory, you can just type ls, and then I'll type bin. And those are all of my scripts. Just various scripts for miscellaneous purposes that I need to use for one reason or another. I'm going to cd into that bin directory. And I'm going to open up one of these files with nano. I'll open up sway. So what this script is, this is my sway launcher script. So when my computer boots and I log in, I just have a regular TTY. I don't use a display manager, and then I'll just type sway. And that will run this script and start the sway Wayland compositor that I'm using right now. And as you can see, I have that pkill command right here that I was just talking about to kill some of the processes that might be hanging, that might be left over from something else. I try to put pkill in a lot of my scripts to kind of contain my system, to make sure there's not a lot of zombies, is what they're called. Zombies. Yeah. Still getting used to this new webcam. It is recording the sound through my new webcam, so I hope everything sounds all right. People complain about the sound sometimes. I hope no one complains about this video. Someone will probably complain that, those lights are color changing. It's too cool. It's too interesting. It's distracting me from learning, and I can't learn now with distracting lights. But yeah, let's write one of these scripts. I'll show you all how to write a shell script. So let's just type nano. We'll call our script script.sh. Now when you start writing a shell script, the very first line of the file of a shell script has to start with this, this pound sign and the exclamation mark. And then if this is a bash script, we are going to type /bin/bash. What that's called is a shebang. Every shell script in the world, the first line of those files is the shebang. And that tells the shell basically what interpreter to use. What program is going to receive the contents of this script as its input. So we can just start off with something simple. Just type echo hello world. And that's all our script is going to do. It's just going to echo this one string. I'm going to type Control-X to exit nano. And I'm going to type Y. I'm going to press enter. And that saved our shell script. Now when you write a shell script, you have to make it executable. Because right now script.sh, you can do lsl. Yeah, if you look at the permissions over here in the output of lsl, script.sh does not have the x. There are no x's right here. So it does not have the executable permission. So to give a file the executable permission, to make a file executable, you are going to want to type chmod +x, and then the name of the file you would like to execute. So I'll type script.sh. Now if I type lsl again, script.sh, that file looks different, and if you look at the permissions over here, you can see there is now an X in those permissions, noting that this file is an executable script. So, how do we run our new shell script? You run any shell script with a dot and a slash, and then you type the name of your script, script.sh, and then I'll press enter. And that echoes the command hello world. That just runs this command right here, echo hello world. And that's all that script does. So you need this dot slash. You can't just type script.sh. I think on Windows you could just type script.bat or script or script.exe, and it will run the batch file or the executable that's in the current working directory. But on Unix, Linux, Mac OS, you got to have that dot slash to tell your shell, to tell bash to run this script that's in the current working directory. Because if you just type script.sh, it's going to say command not found. Yeah, what else could we put in our shell script? I'll show you a few other commands. Here's a nice command, host name. That just prints the name of your computer. So I'll add that line to my script and press Control-X, then I'll press Y, and I'll press enter again. And to clear my terminal, I can type clear. You can also press Control-L, and that clears the terminal as well. But now let's run that script again. /script.sh. So it printed hello world, and then it printed thing, because that is the host name of my computer, just thing. If you want to find out the version of your kernel or the details of your operating system, you can type uname. Just typing uname will just tell you Linux. I think it says Darwin on Mac OS if you type uname, but you can type uname and give it a -a, and it will give you the full version string of your operating system. But let's go into my video directory. I'll type ls, and there's just a file.txt in here, so I'm going to go back out into my home directory with cd space ... and I'll type ls again. Now I want to move my newly made shell script into my video directory. So to do that, we are going to use the mv command. Going to type mv script.sh. That argument is for the source file, and the second argument to mv is the directory where I want to move this file. So I will go ahead and type this mv space script.sh space video. And I'll type enter, and then I'll type an ls, and as you can see, that file script.sh is no longer in my home directory. It's in my video directory. So if I type cd video and type ls, there's my shell script. And I can type cat script.sh, and it will print the contents of my shell script. Now, you use the command mv to do two things. You can do it to move a file to a different directory on the file system, or you can also use it to change the name of that file. And really, when you think about it, I mean, that's kind of the same thing. Moving a file, renaming a file. The operating system is just editing the metadata in the file system. Based on the mv command, it will either change the file name or the name of the directory where the file is stored. But moving a file and renaming a file are basically the same thing. If I wanted to type mv script.sh and then a new name.sh and type that, and then I type ls here, as you can see, our file script.sh has been renamed to newname.sh. I can cat newname.sh, and it's that same file. Now, to copy a file, you're going to want to use the cp command. Cp for copy. If I want to copy my script and make a copy of it, I'll just type cp newname.sh to, I'll call it script.sh again. And then I'll type ls. And now there's 3 files in this video directory. One of them is file.txt, one of them is newname.sh, and one of them is script.sh. Now, if I wanted to move one of these files back into my home directory from my video directory, because that's where I am right now. I'm in /home/babcock/video. If I wanted to move one of these files out, you could just type mv script.sh dot dot. Just the name of a directory. If the second argument to mv is an existing name of a directory, it will move that file into that directory with the same name. So I'll type that, and then I'll type ls again, and that file script.sh is gone. Where did it go? cd dot dot. Dot dot is where it went. I'll type ls, and there's script.sh again. Now mv and cp, if you wanted to, you could give those some command line options. So if I wanted to type mv and then give it the -v option for verbose, that means verbose output, it will print stuff to the standard output, mv-v script.sh, I will move that back into the video directory. So I'll type that, and it prints this little this status here, renamed script.sh to video/script.sh. So that's really handy. If you I mean, you can just type stuff like that. You could even do here. Let's go into the video directory. There's script.sh, as you can see. If I wanted to do that again, here. Let's say I want to move newName.sh into the parent directory, my home directory, under a new name. I will call it script.sh. I'll type ls. Now there's just one script in here, script.sh. I will go back into my home directory and type ls here. And there's script.sh. Here's another command line option for mv and also for cp. You could type mv with the v option, and you could also give it the I option, which is stands for interactive. Let's say I want to move script.sh back into my video directory. And see, that's the thing. There's already a file in my video directory called script.sh. So that's what this I option does, is it will prompt you. It will prompt the user, do you want to overwrite this file because it has the same name? Without this I option, this command would have just overwritten the script.sh. So now I'll just type y, and then it will print renamed script.sh to video/script.sh. Go into video again, and I'll type ls, and now there's just one file there because I overwrote one file with another file. These two files are exactly the same though. Script.sh. If you want to remove a file or delete a file, that command is rm for remove. So I'll type rm script.sh, and I'll type enter. And I'll type ls. That file is gone. Now let's say you want to remove an entire directory. Well, how do you do that? We could just try to rm the video directory. Just type rm video, see what happens. And it's going to give you this error. It's going to say rm cannot remove video is a directory. Well, we have this other command, rmdir, see if that works. rmdir video. And it's going to give you rmdir failed to remove video, directory not empty. So the video directory still has a file in it. It still has that file.txt inside of that directory. So if you want to remove an entire directory that has stuff in it, that has files and stuff in it, the command that you want is rm space -rf, and then the name of the directory that's not empty, which is video. So I'll type that, and it didn't print anything in the Linux shell. If you type a command and press enter and it just doesn't print any errors or anything, it's safe to assume that the command ran successfully. If there was a problem, it would have told you that there was a problem, and I'll type ls here, and yeah, that video directory is gone. It was deleted. I still have videos, but that directory that I was working in was just called video. So what else could we do? What else could I show you? I'm going to look at this document just for a reference. This is my website here, tannerbabcock.com. I really think everyone out there should check out my website. It's going to be the first link in the video description. But if you go to the home page of my website and then go to Linux and then click on Basic Unix/Linux Shell Commands, this is a very comprehensive guide that shows you how to pipe, redirect, standard input, standard output, append. Here's a command I could show you. So let's say we run a command that just has a lot. Has a lot of stuff. Like when I did a cat.zshrc. Now that's a lot of output. So what can we do here? You probably, if you're looking at a big file like this, you don't need to see the entire file just printed into the standard out like that. So what we can do is we can type cat.zshrc and we can pipe this into a pager. So I'll type space and then I will add the pipe symbol, which if you remember what I said earlier, that pipe symbol redirects the standard output of one program into the standard input of another program. I'm going to type less, because that is the name of our pager. And so now what's this? The prompt is gone. This is an interactive program called less, and it's called a pager, and the purpose of this program is very simple. It just lets you interactively scroll up and down through your standard input. And it's not just for, catting a file into less. You could also cat, a long log file. You could run some other command that has a lot of output, and if you need to look at all of that output, you can just pipe whatever you want into less. Here's another command that's handy. You could type wc and then give that the name of a file, .zshrc. What wc does is it counts the number of lines, right? Lines, words, and characters, or bytes of a text file. So that ZSHRC is almost 17 kilobytes, and it has 405 lines. That could be really handy to know. What are some other programs? I showed ping in the last video, ping google.com. So that's cool. If you have an external drive, I will actually be right back and I will grab my hard drive and I will show you all how to mount and unmount an external drive on Linux. so that you can access some of those files. Give me just 1 second. So yeah, I'm here. I got my external hard drive, external solid state drive. And let's say if you have one of these, or you have an iPod or a phone, or something like that, a memory stick, reader, some USB device that you're going to want to have to plug into your computer and access the files that are on there. I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to take this and plug it into my laptop. Now, when you first plug it in, nothing happens. On Windows or Mac, you plug in an external device and you'll see some type of pop-up. Hey, you plugged in a thing. What do you want to do with this thing? And if you want your computer to act like that, you shouldn't use Linux. You should go back to Windows or Mac OS if you want your computer to be, hey, click on me, and do this. So you plug in your device, nothing happens immediately. You could type df, which is the utility that shows you your free disk space. It just shows you some numbers there, so if you type df and give it the /-h option, it will print the free or remaining disk space in a human-readable format. So as you can see, I have 6.9 gigabytes left on my my internal laptop drive, and but it's not showing our external drive. So the first thing you're going to have to do is you have to find the device file of your external drive. So you'll have to type ls/dev. And yes, you are going to have to find which one of these files is your external drive. Fortunately, I already know what my drive is going to be. It's going to be right here, SDA and SDA1. If I had a traditional hard drive in my laptop, then SDA would be the hard drive that I boot from. But that is actually something else. That is actually NVMe ON1. So because of that, SDA isn't taken, and my external hard drive, the file path for that is /dev/SDA1. So if you've installed Linux and you have a traditional hard drive, SDA is going to be your hard drive that you boot from. Or you would have SDA1, that could be your boot partition, SDA2, that could be your root partition, and then your external drive would show up on SDB instead of SDA. But for me, because I have an encrypted solid state drive on my laptop already, SDA1 is my external drive. So you're going to want to make this folder if it doesn't exist already. And if you can actually do that with make dir -p. This will make a full file path even if none of those directories currently exist. I will just type /mount/drive. So just in case the /mnt directory doesn't already exist, it's going to make that, and then it's going to make another directory inside of that called drive. So if I type ls/mount/drive, should be totally empty, right? Nothing there. It should just be an empty directory. This is going to serve as our mount point for our external drive. So now we're going to have to type the sudo command. The first time you run the sudo command, it might give you a warning message. It might try to scare you. It might say, this incident will be reported. So you're going to want to figure out how to add your user to the sudoers file. I'm not going to show how to do that right now. I'm sure there's plenty of videos and tutorials. You could just Google add user to sudoers file. Something like that. You type sudo. Sudo is the command that you need to type if you need root or super user privileges to run a command. So like if I just wanted to type mount, that's the command mount /dev/sdb1, and then that mount point that we made /mount/drive. It's going to give you this message. Must be super user to use mount. So if you get an error like that, or you get an error that says operation not permitted or insufficient privileges, you could type sudo. You're just going to want to type that exact same command, but you're going to put sudo before it. So I will type sudo mount dev sdb1 /mount/drive. I will type my password here. It's going to ask you for your password. Special device SDB. Oh, I just talked about this. It's SDA for me. Sudo mount dev SDA1 mount/drive. And it did it. I mounted my external hard drive. To check and make sure my device has been mounted, I'm going to type df, the disk usage utility again. Oh wait, df-h actually. But it's there. This very last line of the df command says /dev/sda1, and it looks like I have 15 gigabytes available and 451 gigabytes used of /mount/drive. So now my file system has been mounted, and it has been added to the overall hierarchy of the file system. So I can go into /mount/drive, and I'll type ls, and there's stuff there. That's what's on my external hard drive. You know, I have all my music there, I have all my videos there. Type CD videos, type ls. There's all my movies and stuff, but yeah, now I'm in my hard drive. And if you want to make any changes, it's not always like this. But for me, when I work on my external hard drive, it's almost always like this. You're going to have to use the sudo command to make any changes whatsoever. Even if I just wanted to type touch file.txt, it's going to tell me permission denied. So, if it tells you that, you just type sudo touch file.txt. And then I'll type ls, and file.txt is right there. So there's df-h again. Yeah, I still have a good 15 gigabytes of free space. Anyway, when you're done working on your mounted external drive, external device, we already mounted it with the sudo mount command. And now you can't just rip it out, you can't just yank it out, you know. You have to do on Windows, it would be, you would click the little arrow and you would click safely remove hardware. Well, this is the same thing, just the Linux version. Instead of typing sudo mount, you would type sudo umount. And then you would type the mount point that you chose to mount your external drive to. I chose /mount/drive, and I'm going to go ahead and type that. But I got an error. You know, I typed sudo, so it says target is busy. See, that's my current working directory. I'm in the /mount/drive directory, and the operating system will refuse to unmount this device if if there's anything happening with it at all. And so since my shell is in this directory, it's refusing to unmount the device. So yeah, if you get an error like that says target is busy, just make sure nothing's going on. There's no processes that are working on your external drive. I'm going to change my directory back to my home directory, and then I'm going to try to run that command again. In Bash and in most shells, you can go back to previously typed commands with the up and down arrows. So that's what I'm typing right now, and I will go back to this sudo umount /mount/drive command, press enter, and it did it. It didn't print anything, so that means that it unmounted the external drive. And I will type df space -h again, and as you can see, my /mount/drive is no longer there in the df output. But there's some other ways we can trim a long output or a long file. So we were just doing that cat.zshrc. We did that, we piped it into less. It showed you how to use the pager less. So this lets you interactively scroll up and down with a file. But what if you just want like the first 10 lines of the file, and that's it? How do you do that? Well, I'll show you how to do that. It's a nifty utility called head. We're going to type cat.zshrc, and then I'm going to insert the pipe symbol, and then I'm going to just type head, and we'll see what happens. So that just printed, it printed my little thing here, and it printed just a few lines. 10 lines exactly is what the head command prints of its standard input. I could also do this command like this. I could just type head.zshrc, and that does the same thing. If I wanted more or less than 10 lines, I could do a cat.zshrc space the pipe, and then I'll type head, and then I'll give it another command line option, give it -15 for 15 lines, and I'll press enter. And that prints a little bit more of the beginning of my .zshrc file. There is also the command tail, which does the opposite of the head command. I think you can imagine what the tail command does. Cat.zshrc, there's the pipe, and I will type tail. And yes, that prints the bottom 10 lines of the standard input. So those are the bottom 10 lines of my zshrc. I could also just type tail.zshrc, and that does the same thing. If I want to specify how many lines I want it to show, cat.zshrc, and type tail-15. And it will print out the last 15 lines of that file. Well, anyway, guys, that's all I'm going to be teaching today. Thanks for watching my videos. I really appreciate it. I hope you all enjoy the new setup, my new webcam, my new lights and stuff. Here's my handy reference guide, the basic Unix/Linux shell commands. I highly recommend all of you out there who have watched my first video of this series and this video to check out this document that's on my website, tannerbabcock.com. There's a lot of commands and a lot of examples here and a lot of stuff that I didn't get to today in this video, but I hope there's someone out there who learned something. I mean, even an old Linux veteran who didn't know about the Control-L to clear the screen. I hope someone like that learned how to do something in this video, and just let me know. Just let me know if my video helped you. Here's my GitHub sponsors one more time. I'm just going to show that one more time. I would really appreciate some money if you appreciate my work, if you enjoy what I do. Please sponsor me on GitHub. I have Patreon too, and there's also a direct link for my PayPal. If you just want to give me some money on PayPal, I would really appreciate that. So yeah, there's my GitHub. Here's my website, tannerbabcock.com, and I had a good time. Thanks for watching, everyone. Peace.